Welcome back to the Tea with Jade B. I am feeling extra spicy today because I am fresh off of fighting with strangers in my Instagram DMs, which is not exactly how I planned to start my day, but here we are. And I would love to say that I didn't choose the fight. I didn't seek out the fight, but that's not true. I literally started it. But I just want to say before we get into that, thank you so much for your response to the first episode. You know, I'm almost 36, so most of my friends are, they're on their second house, their third kid, they're climbing the corporate ladder. And I'm like, hey, guess what? Another podcast. You guys want to listen? And so for you guys to actually take the time to listen, give me some good feedback, I just really, really appreciate it. And, let's see where this little thing takes us. Okay, so why am I fighting with strangers in my Instagram? So basically, long story short, I made this video a while ago talking about MySpace. And the title of the video was Things Millennials Grew Up With That Would Send Gen Z Into a Coma, MySpace. In the video, I talk about how we ranked our friends publicly, 1 through 8. And if you weren't acting right that day, you would get kicked off the list publicly, execution style. And now people have taken what I said, they literally have ripped the words word for word, and it has been ripped into a meme all across the internet, especially Facebook. It is such a Facebook thing to fucking do this. And so I've been getting sent them in my DMs from people who follow me. And at first I was like, I don't give a fuck. Why would I care? It doesn't really matter. But then I got a wild hair up my ass and I started to really care. So then I started calling people out and I would DM them and I'm like, hey, just FYI, you probably don't know this, but this is directly ripped from my video. But here's my issue with that, is that they don't even know where these words came from to begin with. So they're just putting these words on to little videos of them walking, to little videos of them cooking, doing dances or whatever. And it's you are now trying to pass these words off as your own, which is annoying. Why don't you give me a little credit? Tag It's Me, Jade B, for content credit. So I reach out to this girl. Her name is Savage Mom Life. And all these people have way more followers than me, which is really fucking annoying because I'm competitive. Sorry. And so I reached out to this girl, Savage Mom Life. Hey, just letting you know, FYI, you probably don't know. Me. And she's like, oh, well, I do a really good job at trying to find out where everything is from. Did you make this meme? I'm like, I'm not talking about the fucking meme. I'm talking about the words in the meme. She ignores me. So then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to name them in the names of Sutton. I'm also wearing this shirt that says name them. That's why I said that. If you're not watching it, you probably think I just had a stroke. But I said, you know what? I'm going to name them. So for the last month, anytime this plagiarism comes up, I just tag her along with the other people in my list of plagiarizers. And finally yesterday, it came to a head because I had made contact with 2 of my plagiarists. So Savage Mom Life, she ends up blocking me because she said that one of her friends actually made up that video or those words, and I sent her the video and then she blocked me. So Savage Mom Life 1, you can rot in hell. Then Brianna Miller, who is she's this TikToker, this Republican TikToker. She has millions of followers. She's kind of a rage baiter. She is one of the plagiarists as well. And so she said, I hate to break it to you, girl, but I've never seen your videos before or even know who you are. No shit. I'm aware that you don't know who I am. I just know that you've ripped this words. I'm malfunctioning. You've ripped these words from somebody else who ripped them from me. So I said, I assumed that and didn't think you knew where you stole the words from because a lot of people have been taking those words and putting them on their videos, but it still means you saw the words and copied them word for word and put them on your video. And she goes, I cannot imagine tagging a complete stranger in my stories, accusing them of something. I didn't accuse you of something. You did it. When TikTok is full of viral words or phrases that people reuse over and over again, it's nothing new. Anyways, I hope you have a great rest of your day. And I said, I cannot imagine that being the best response to come up with. What I should have said is, I cannot imagine being you. So that's why I'm upset. It's really nothing. It really doesn't take much to get me into a state of agita. But honestly, I do my best work when I am just like a little agitated, you know? I like not being into a full-blown anger mode, because then I'm like blindly seething and just words come out of my mouth. And I don't like being sad. I like being agitated. So Jader Bader, the agitator. I have Hank in the studio today because we've just been like really bonding. And there's one thing about Hank is that he is like such a gorgeous, gorgeous dog. He reminds me of, do you know the movie Remember the Titans, where that one guy, Sunshine? Hank is Sunshine, because Sunshine's like a little ambiguous. His like sexuality is very ambiguous. That's kind of Hank. Like Hank is just, he exudes sexuality in a very pure way. Like he could turn a lesbian straight and he could turn a gay man even gayer. Like, I don't know. But Hank is just, he's my muse. He's my Edie Sedgwick to my Andy Warhol. So we have him in here for good luck today. Hank, mommy. Come to mommy. So I just got back from this luxury resort that I went to with Mr. Roberts. It's called the Ranch at Rock Creek. It was in Montana. So today, this episode is coming out on September 11th, which is Mr. Roberts' birthday. I know. September 11th is his birthday. When we first met, and of course, the first 10 seconds I met him, I was like, what's your birthday? Do you have a co-star? He's like, my birthday is September 11th. I was like, oh God. He was like, I know. But yeah, so he's a Virgo. My birthday is September 25th. So we were talking about, I don't know why I have to make everything into astrology. I'm like, he's a Virgo, just in case you were wondering, I'm a Libra. Have you heard this one before? So we were talking about where we're going to go for our birthday. And I was throwing out, Paris, Cabo, Nashville. He's like, what about Montana? I'm like, what about Montana? Like literally, what about Montana? And he showed me these like luxury dude ranch things. And I was like, you know what? Let's do it. So we did it, and it was honestly like the best trip of my life. If you can go to one of these leave it to rich people to just make like poor people things so luxurious, like fly fishing, clay shooting, horseback riding, luxury. Everything was luxury. But this ranch was absolutely phenomenal. And, I didn't grow up vacationing like this. So when we're at these kind of really nice resorts, I'm extremely grateful. And so is Mr. Roberts. Like we are aware that every little attention to detail is really special. We don't take it for granted. But then we see like a lot of people there who also maybe don't have the same kind of feelings that we do. So that's always super entertaining for us to watch, because we are two of the nosiest fucking people ever. Like he's much more low key than me, but like we'll be sitting at a dinner and we're just both silent. And I know we're both like, we have ears on what's going on around us, which I love. Like he's the most perfect person for me ever. But so the thing that was cool about this ranch is before you get there, you fill out this survey of like what you like to do. And, all the activities are things I have no fucking interest in doing. Fly fishing, clay shooting, mountain biking, hiking. I'm like, where's the sit on your ass option? But, I like managed to find like a few little activities that I wanted to do. And then they come up with like an itinerary for you, and they give you all your lunches, your dinner times, your breakfast times. Like, and at first I thought I wasn't going to like that, because I am like the opposite of type A. I am like, I just want to go where the wind takes me. I'm an air sign. I just want to be like, I just want to relax. But Mr. Roberts, this is like he gets off on this shit. He loves an itinerary. He loves a time he wants to know when he has to be everywhere he has to be. But I actually ended up liking it, because I liked to know when I could get my next drink, because it was an all-inclusive alcohol situation as well. So I was like, okay, if I go to fly fishing at 2 p.m., that means I only have 2 more hours until my next drink. So I can do that. I can do 2 hours, I just don't like, last year we went on vacation with my family, and I was so stressed because I'm supposed to be on vacation, and we had a packed itinerary every single day. Like where I was like, where's the break for wine? Like, we're in Europe. Isn't the whole point of going to Europe is so that I can eat and drink and lose weight like everyone on Instagram says? By the way, aren't you I'm sick of seeing the European vacations. Give me something interesting. I want to see you go somewhere I haven't seen anyone else go before. But yeah, so anyways, I don't know where I blacked out and went, but me and Mr. Roberts, we had the best time. It was such like a bonding trip, and it was like one of my favorite vacations we've ever been on. And honestly, Montana won me over. So thanks, Montana. Okay, so speaking of kids at these luxury resorts, so me and Mr. Roberts, we did not grow up going to resorts like this, and we see these kids at these luxury all-inclusive resorts, like 5-star, getting like the best service, the best food in the world. And I'm just like, okay, let's just say me and Mr. Roberts get married. Let's just say we have kids together. What a wild thought that would be. How do we continue to enjoy vacations at a certain level while also having kids along? Because here's the problem. If you're vacationing at these nice ass hotels, the kids, that becomes their baseline. They're just expecting 5-star service. And that breeds assholes. That breeds affluenza. And that breeds, I'm probably going to not like my own kids. But on the flip side, if I have to downgrade my vacation, then that means mommy's not going to be happy either. So what's the compromise? How do you vacation with your kids at nice ass places without turning them into absolute assholes? Because when we go to the Edition in Miami, there's a bunch of families there. There's 2 pools. There's like kind of a more adulty pool where there's like a bunch of chairs, there's bar service, and then there's a big ass pool. But for whatever fucking reason, the kids love to be at the adult pool. So I'm now sitting in the splash zone. Me and my spicy margarita and ají tostadas are being dunked by water with little Jimmy from fucking Brooklyn. They're all from New York. And we're having to suffer because their parents wanted to have a luxury vacation. And the thing that me and little Jimmy do have in common is that we are both freeloaders in this situation. However, I know how to act because I used to vacation at the Howard Johnson. I used to roll up to the Howard Johnson in Amarillo, eat some expired nachos, get some diarrhea, and we didn't even fly there. We're like en route to Dallas. Like that was our vacation. It was going to Dallas. Jimmy gets to go to Miami. Like, Jimmy doesn't understand that his hotel comes with an entire vibe. My hotel came with an M in front of it and all the doors faced out to the parking lot. That's the difference between me and little Jimmy from Brooklyn. I want to talk about Real Housewives of Orange County. I just watched the new episode last night, which would be when they went to Sonoma. And I just have to say, I am so fucking livid for Shannon Bedore. Here's the thing. Okay, let me just get into some notes I took from the episode. First of all, Shane is a little Polly Pocket. What a 180 I've done with Shane. I love Shane. I love Shane and Emily. It's still to this day, how many seasons has Emily been on the show? I'm still wanting to call her Gina and Gina Emily. It does not make sense. My brain, it's like dyslexic for those two people. But I just have to say, I really enjoy Shane. I love the character arc we've seen of him. It's kind of like, I like him probably because we're seeing less of him, and I really don't like seeing a lot of the men on The Housewives unless it's like certain franchises. I really like the Jersey men. Who else do we like? I think that's it. Just Jersey. They're going to Sonoma, and Alexis and Johnny J, have just made their red carpet debut at an Oscars party. I'm sorry. What fucking party is inviting Alexis Bellino, the washed up Real Housewives of Orange County star who really hasn't done any press in years, and John Jansen, who supposedly doesn't want to be in the spotlight? Who's inviting them? Do they have a publicist? Why is there articles being written about these two people? I have a lot of fucking questions. So they're talking about how this press is just getting out, and then Shannon makes a comment like, oh, I bought him those shoes. And Tamra says, oh, Shannon's zooming in on every inch of John's face to see what she did and blah, blah, blah. If someone was suing me for $75,000, I would be zooming in on every inch of their body to see what I bought that person, because that person is nickel and diming me for my new gorgeous face. So we're getting more answers on where Johnny J gets his money from besides Shannon's pockets, but he supposedly has a small percentage of equity in a company that just a division sold or whatever. So it's a division of a company. They have a small percentage. She says a percentage. So I'm guessing, maybe like 5%. How much could he really possibly have made from that sale? I'm going to say maybe like $1 million, which unfortunately in Orange County isn't that much. The girls are also talking about how Shannon went to R&D Kitchen and was seen having a drink after this came out. So here's what I have to say about that. R&D Kitchen is a Hillstone restaurant. And if there was a Hillstone restaurant in this town, anytime I had a minor inconvenience, I would be there getting a dirty martini and spinach artichoke dip. And mark my words. So I feel like that's just Shannon's form of therapy, and she Ubered there. What's it to you if Shannon fucking has a cocktail at R&D Kitchen, Tamra? I'm trying to understand why John Jansen wants to continue having Shannon in his life if he fucking hates her so much, because he's saying that she's ruining his reputation around town. And here's what I have to say about that. How the fuck is suing Shannon Bedore while she is actively filming, knowing that women are going to have very strong opinions either way? How is that doing anything to protect your fucking reputation in this town? Point 2, why is your reputation so important as an insurance broker with these women? Why is it so important? Why don't you pull a Jim Bellino and fade into non-existence, leave this world, stop dating housewives, and then your reputation will be forever repaired, because no one will fucking think about you. The more you put yourself into our orbit, the more we're gonna talk about it. And guess what? Shannon's our girl, okay? You can talk shit about Shannon. We can talk shit about Shannon, but you can't talk shit about Shannon, okay? Johnny J. And that's what also Alexis is not getting about this. Like, I don't understand. She does not have a dog in this fight. Shannon didn't come after her. Alexis came after Shannon guns blazing for a guy that she's known for only 3 months. And we've seen Alexis do this in the past with Peggy. Remember when Peggy and Jim had dated? No one's even talking about this. Okay, so back, I forget what season it was, but it was Peggy Tanouse's season. I loved Peggy Tanouse, or Tanouse. Anyways, so it had actually come out that Peggy and not the boring Peggy. Remember the one season wonder Peggy? Not that one. This is Peggy with the long blonde hair. She got her boobs redone and she had like a very square jawline and she was gorgeous. So Peggy and Jim Bellino actually had dated in the past, but Jim told Peggy not to tell Alexis. And I think if I remember correctly, Peggy was brought onto the cast as like Alexis's friend, but for whatever reason, this information had gone out and she was trying to do the right thing by not getting in between Alexis and Jim, who were married at the time. So she's just like, okay, well, he's going to tell her whatever. Anyways, it ends up getting out. And then who does Alexis get mad at? She gets mad at fucking Peggy, not Jim. And that's just on Alexis's track record with women. I do appreciate Emily. Yes, Emily, not Gina. Emily. I love Emily. There's something about Emily that just feels very, very comforting to me. Like the way I would feel like everything was okay if I was in Emily's presence. I don't know why. Maybe it's like her large bosom. Maybe it's her law degree. But when she's giving Shannon advice, it soothed some part of my brain. And I really like that she acknowledges the fact that her and Alexis were like kind of friends, but she acknowledges the fact that Alexis is acting fucking crazy and she's kicking a horse when it's down. What is that fucking saying? If Alexis and John did not want Shannon to talk about them, the last thing they should have done was have John sue Shannon out of fucking nowhere. After Shannon has paid for a lot of stuff. And who cares if it's equal? It's within tens of thousands of dollars of each other. Why are you bringing this shit back up? If you hate Shannon so much, why are you doing this? I cannot fucking stand John Jansen. Out of all the men in Newport Beach, I've said this once, I'll say it again. Why John Jansen? And now we end it on this bombshell. So Shannon goes into Heather's room. She's visibly shaken, visibly upset, which is not hard for Shannon. Shannon's like kind of like a shaky leaf. Like it does not take a lot for her to get rattled. And so, but this is really bad. So she shows Heather this picture that she forgot that she had sent to John the night of her crash. And she says she sends the picture at 12. He doesn't respond to it. Then at 1:30, he said, "What happened? The cops just brought Archie here." And it is Shannon's face all fucking bloody. And John ignored that picture, which is pretty fucking telling of what kind of person John Jansen is. And I just don't know if he did not, I don't think that this even, the thing is, this would not have needed to even be brought up if John stayed the fuck away from the show and B, didn't sue Shannon. So he basically asked for this, in my opinion. Next, this is one of my favorite topics to discuss. Meghan Markel and America Riviera Orchard. What a fucking terrible name. I hate that name so much. It's so hard to say. It doesn't make any sense. It sounds like it is a like one of those fake brands, like a white label brand that you buy at Home Goods, which I love Home Goods, but like she's trying to market this as like a luxury brand, and I don't even know A, what the brand is, B, why don't you just go Target? Why is she trying to be so like luxury when you could just like be Target and make a fuck ton of money selling shit at Target? Target is honestly Meghan Markel's like demographic, like bitches who like shop at Target. They get their little Starbucks. They shop for Studio McGee and Meghan Markel's line, America Riviera Orchard. That sounds like an amazing idea to me. I don't know why she's trying to market to like this super rich people. We actually don't even know what the fuck she's trying to market because, okay, this is some of the headlines. Experts voice concern over Meghan Markel's American Riviera. That's annoying. American Riviera Orchard brand, as the company is yet to put out a single product on sale 5 months after their glitzy Instagram launch. Here's another headline. Meghan Markel will she's having trouble with her words today. Meghan Markel will reportedly launch her lifestyle brand, American Riviera Orchard, later this year. A source says claims a CEO search is delaying the brand's launch are false. Oh, here we go. A source says claims that a CEO search is delaying the brand's launch are false. So finding a CEO is not the reason why this is delaying the brand's launch. Then what is it? Okay, here's some quotes. Markel reportedly feels that every move she makes is met with criticism as she continues to face scrutiny over her upcoming and previous projects. Here's the thing about that. You had us at the beginning. You had us with the harsh criticism of the British tabloids, because that's very close to our hearts as Americans, because we loved Princess Diana and we know how she could not escape the tabloids, and that ultimately it led to her death. So we understood why her and Harry would want to get the fuck out of there. Okay, you have us. It was, if you would have kept riding the wave after that, you would have had us. Here's the thing though, when a person from Spotify, the head of Spotify, calls you a grifter because you are not delivering on your podcast deal, you have issues. Here's podcasts. Look what kind of people get podcasts. Me. I'm not even working with a full deck. I have no team. It's just me, myself, and I can fucking fart out a podcast. Why did it take Meghan Markel so long to put together a podcast? Why doesn't she write a book? Why doesn't she do something like in film or television, or like direct some sort of like documentary that has humanitarian efforts? I don't fucking know. But when you put out this glitzy 9-grid post of American Riviera Orchard, and then you send a bunch of celebrities jam, like what is your company? Is it jam? I thought it was supposed to be wine. Nobody even knows what the fuck you're trying to sell. It was, who is on her team that's like, yes, we should announce now without even a launch date in mind? They just launched nothing. It would actually make more sense if she just launched an actual Instagram account that shows, like, you know, kind of like the TIG. People liked the TIG. Why don't you make the case of why you should be selling luxury goods, luxury jams, luxury wares out to the world first before, because we don't get to see Meghan Markle behind the scenes. Why is she, what makes me want to buy her jam? I don't even know if she fucking cooks. She probably doesn't cook. Also, do they have money? Like, weren't they in money, weren't they having money troubles? Or are they just truly living off of like all these deals that they're not delivering on? Let's look at the American Riviera Orchard, yeah, the American Riviera Orchard Instagram right now is literally a 9 grid that just says American Riviera Orchard, Montecito. There's nothing there. There's nothing established. 2024. Also, it's Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, which is rich because doesn't she like not want to be that? I don't get it. They're just so... I don't like Meghan Markle. I don't like her stupid fucking wedding dress. It's women supporting women. You shouldn't tear another woman down. Her wedding dress was ugly. It was ill-fitting. She is literally royalty. And she can't even come up with a good enough dress. Like, honestly, it's kind of just annoying. Okay, in other news, Lenny Hochstein broke up with his fiance, or I guess we don't know if he broke up with her, but they broke up. Remember, if you watched Real Housewives of Miami, when Lisa Hochstein was figuring out that Lenny had a mistress that he was leaving her for. I'm having a hard time with my words today. I apologize. But that was one of my favorite moments in Real Housewives of Miami history. I love the Real Housewives of Miami. Mama Elsa. Marisol. Remember Mama Elsa? I loved her so much. What that scene where all the women banded together, they were all fighting. And then they all came together to support Lisa is one of my favorite scenes, because that's what I love about the Housewives, because that's women. We fight, we're petty, but at the end of the day, we're like lioness. We will protect each other against the fucking idiot men, aka Lenny Hochstein. And Lenny treated Lisa so terribly. He just had no fucking respect for her, for his family, for his kids. Like, why would you treat your wife? Why do men treat their wives like this when they know it's being recorded for television, and then they want to blame the women for how they look when you are doing it? Like my mom said, if you don't want people to talk about it, don't fucking do it. So I guess Lenny and his fiance broke up, and she's already posting with other men. And that's what I would like to cue Miss Taylor Swift. Karma is my boyfriend. Karma is my God. Lisa is laughing with her billionaire boyfriend right now. And I just think that is so sweet. Karma is my kink. Okay, something else I've been loving on TikTok lately is this girl. Her handle is Ash_cat. And what she does is she will, she goes on this website that's like writeaprisoner.com, and she finds people's profiles and she reads their profiles, and then she reads what the person did. And it is so fucking fascinating the way these prisoners, like some of the guys are like, this one guy, he's like, you would be so lucky to be with me. I only attract the most amazing women. So if you're not attracted to me, that says something about you. Then she pulls up what he did. He was a pedophile. So I've been really into that TikTok lately. And if you guys are just like, you know, in need of something to like mindlessly scroll through, I highly recommend it. Her handle is Ash_cat with a K. K-A-T. Let's end it on this one. Katy Perry on Call Her Daddy. So Katy Perry was getting a lot of shit for working with the producer Dr. Luke. So the reason why she was getting shit for working with Dr. Luke is because Dr. Luke has been in this like, years long battle with Kesha. Kesha sued Dr. Luke to get out of her exclusive recording contract with him, citing misogyny, sexual abuse, all these like really bad things. Then Dr. Luke countersued her for breach of contract and defamation. So this guy basically wouldn't let Kesha out of her fucking contract. I don't know why he wouldn't just let her out of the contract. And if you're one of those people who are like, well, it's her word against his, are you sure he did it? Blah, blah, blah. Well, here's the thing. So many people in the music industry backed Kesha up. Let me just give you some of the people. So Adele, Jack Antonoff, Zedd, Miley Cyrus, Lady Gaga, Ariana Grande, Kelly Clarkson, Lord, Haim. I mean, everyone was basically on team Kesha, which probably goes to show maybe his reputation wasn't so great in the music industry. Taylor Swift actually also donated $250,000 to help Kesha with her lawyer fees, which, by the way, this is one of my favorite parts of the story, is that Demi Lovato had to like step her little toe into it. She had to insert herself, and she said, well, unless you're speaking out publicly about it or going to Capitol Hill, then I don't really think put your money where your mouth is, basically is what she said. Like, it didn't mean anything that she gave money. And that is so Demi Lovato of her. I just like cannot fucking stand Demi Lovato. She's always like inserting herself into things and making problems where there aren't problems. Remember when she did the whole ice cream thing where she said, this ice cream store had sugar-free options and it ruined my weekend. I didn't get ice cream. Oh no, Demi Lovato didn't get ice cream. Anyways, back to Dr. Luke and Katy Perry. You have so much access to things. You know, Doja Cat and Kim Petras, they've worked with Dr. Luke since. Like, Katy Perry's not the first person to work with Dr. Luke since this whole thing went down. But Katy Perry also is a seasoned singer. She has access to a lot of things. Why choose working with Dr. Luke, especially on this album that's supposed to be this like female empowerment album, this metamorphosis? She's talking about being a mom. The lead single off the album is It's a Woman's World. It's a woman's world and you're lucky to be living in it. Like, by the way, what a flop. It's like a good beat, but like such a fucking flop. And here's the thing. Katy Perry's not the first woman to work with Dr. Luke since this whole thing went down. Doja Cat's worked with him. Kim Petras has worked with him, but Katy Perry is a very, very large star. She has a lot of access to a lot of different people. Why did you need to work with Dr. Luke? I don't know. So back to the Call Her Daddy interview. Alex Cooper says basically like a lot of people are upset that you're working with Dr. Luke on this album. Like, what do you have to say for that? And Katy Perry goes off into this like diatribe that has nothing to fucking do with the question. She basically says, you know, she's worked with a lot of collaborators and a lot of people on this album, but her words are still her words. And it's all about a metamorphosis, and it's all about being a mom, and she made organs, I made a heart. Isn't that crazy? Basically, she does not answer the question at all. She doesn't even address Dr. Luke by his name. And I don't understand why you worked with this person if you cannot even answer for working with him. Not like she even needs to answer for it, but like clearly this question was agreed upon going into the interview. And if you can't stand by your actions, why did you even fucking do it? Basically, what she said with her answer is, to me, it says she basically said, well, he's never done anything to me. That's basically what she said in not so many words. Or you could even take it a step further and say, I don't believe Kesha. That's kind of what she is saying with her, A, working with him, and B, the way she answered that question. And she just kind of comes across as like so fucking out of touch. Like, it just is, she's so in the, I used to think Katy Perry was this like edgy, cool girl because her first single was I Kissed a Girl and I Liked It. And it was like, oh my gosh, she's like really pushing the envelope. But it seems like she's pushing the envelope in such a shallow way. There's like nothing behind it there. And I think us as as we evolve and we get to know artists a little bit more behind the scenes, the more we want to see their art actually mean something. She's just kind of like being edgy for the sake of being edgy versus it having like a purpose to it. And I don't know, it just comes across like really, really flat. Like the interview was really flat. The way she was talking about wanting to give blowjobs for cleaning felt very flat. Like, Katy Perry, you have a fuck ton of money. There's probably people at your house cleaning multiple times a week. Like, this just, it's a failed attempt to relate to the normies. Oh, last but not least, this is the real last but not least, Taylor Swift went to her first NFL game of the season last night. It was actually the NFL kickoff. It was the Kansas City Chiefs against some fucking other team I don't even really know. All I really cared about was what if Taylor was going, who she was going to be in the suite with, and what she was wearing. So it looks like there was none of her friends in the suite with her this time. I just saw images of her and Travis's dad together. But she was looking hot. She was wearing this like denim corset, some high-waisted jean shorts, and these like really high over the knee red leather, yellow leather boots. And she looked fucking fire. She was also sporting a side bang, which is so millennial of her. You know, she was born in 1989. I was born in 1988. You know, everything comes back to me. But she looked phenomenal. And I really love when, you know, Taylor Swift goes to a football game because it really irritates the fuck out of men. And I don't know why it irritates them so much. Like, why? I saw this meme that Liz Woods posted, and if you are not following Liz Woods, you are truly missing out on life. But basically someone, Barstool SEC tweeted, "Get Taylor Swift off my fucking TV already." And then this person, Tucker D. Franklin, quote tweets it and says, "Yeah, I only like to see dudes on my TV when football is on. Just guy on guy, no girls, just dudes, only dudes. Please don't show me a girl. I'm begging you, please. I'm scared." I don't understand. The NFL is like all for it's entertainment. And Taylor Swift just adds to the entertainment. I want more wags. I want to see Alex Earl. I want to see Olivia Culpo. I want to see Simone Biles. Let's go Bears. I want to see Simone being the Taylor Swift of the Bears, because, you know, the Bears, that's like really all we have is Simone Biles. I mean, my dad is absolutely convinced that this is the Bears year because Caleb Williams is supposed to be like the Patrick Mahomes of quarterbacking. But if you have a Bears fan in your life, then you know that every season they say this every year. Hey girls, this is our year. We've got it. And it's never our year, unfortunately. But I do ride hard for the Bears, and I will be going to a game with my sisters, and Mr. Roberts will be there. We're all going in November. So that should be very, very fun. Okay, this honestly, just to like be so fucking for real with you guys, this episode was a struggle for me to get through. I don't know what is going on with my brain, but it's malfunctioning. If you couldn't hear, I was like tripping over my words. I had to start sentences like 500 times. So this is going to be a bitch to edit. But I just want to thank you guys so much for your support, for listening. Please give me any little tips, advice that you think could help improve this podcast, because Mr. Roberts has been taking me on vacations for a while now, and I'm trying to get a Spotify deal so I can take him on a vacation for once. That's the goal. Speak it into existence. Ask, believe, receive, as Kim Bierman would say. That's probably a bad person to cite when you're talking about like goals and money and stuff like that. But anyways, thank you guys so much. Make sure to send this to a friend. If you have an extra second, rate this for Spotify. It takes like 2 seconds. Leave a review in Apple. Do all the things, like the reels. Oh my God, Jade, could you be any needier? And that is all for episode 3 of the Tea with JB.